This is the Money Radio Network. Ecom Power Hour, SEO, FBA, PPC. Making sense of all the letters, bringing clarity to e-commerce and how it impacts your bottom line. With your hosts, Jeff Fagan and Jason Nast.
All right. Well, welcome to all of our listeners and everybody who's viewing us via Facebook Live. It's great to be here. Jason, say hi.
Hey, there we are. How you doing? Jason Nast here. What a great day it is. First of all, we live in paradise.
We do.
We all kind of agree on that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And we are very, very fortunate today. We're super excited because we've been wrangling and working on getting the Irish marketer here with us today, and he's got just a wealth of knowledge to share. Today we're going to be talking specifically about product, whether you have your own product or you're looking to get somebody else's product, and how to bring it into a store, how to get retail sales via online in e-commerce. And we're going to be talking about some of the methodologies and what Damien likes to talk about is batching your work. We're going to talk about that as well. And Jeff, I know you got some good information to talk about as well.
I do, as a matter of fact. It's interesting you threw it back at me that way. But you know, the thing is, I think what inspires me about Damien and about the show we're going to be having today is really, I know we're going to have the opportunity, Damien, for you to introduce yourself, tell a little bit about your background, your story. And really what the most amazing part is that I'm coming from my background, having run a company like Peak Potentials Training, where I had a chance to work with some of the top internet marketers on the planet and some of the top business people on the planet. You get to see in certain people a certain quality that makes them stand out from the crowd. They just have a certain mindset about them. They're not afraid to put themselves out there. They're not afraid to, when they get involved in something, they get involved not just 80% or 90%. They jump in all in. I mean, they're passion, and you know what, Napoleon Hill said it, and you know as well as I do, and Damien, I'm sure you do as well, that if you don't have a burning desire, an incredible passion for what you're doing, you're never ever going to reach the pinnacles of success. And you know, I think all of us here, the thing is, I know all of us listening, everyone listening to us, we're all passionate entrepreneurs. We all want to make a difference in this world. We all want financial freedom. We all want to create something special and serve a lot of people. And the internet today has become that vehicle that allows any one of us, if we really have a passion to serve and be successful as entrepreneurs. And that's what's so exciting about today is Damien is someone who really, literally, he started off as an entrepreneur as far as internet marketing. He'll tell you it's within 6 months or so. And how his life has transformed in 6 months. Some people won't accomplish in their lifetime what he's just begun doing in 6 months. So it's really, really exciting for me. Plus, on top of it, for those people that do know Damien or get to know him, you talk about a heart of gold.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, you know, I don't know if it's, you know, the Irish and the Canadians. I think we share that bond where we just love, we love to not only be successful, but we love to serve and help other people. And that's something that really stands out.
I've never heard a story about a Canadian and a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I'm sorry, I missed that one.
So you know, with that being said, I really kind of want to turn it over to Damien. Damien, why don't you introduce yourself, tell a little bit about your background, and we'll go from there.
And don't forget to plug yourself where people can find out about you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, guys. So my name is Damien Coughlin, the Irish marketer, and I'm based here in Phoenix, Arizona. And it's great connecting with such intelligent people like Jason and Jeff, who have an industry knowledge which is second to none. You know, when I heard what these guys were managing in the past and the businesses that they were operating and taking to the next level, I was like, okay, these are guys that I need to connect with in the Arizona area, because you got to remember, I came into Arizona not knowing anyone, so I'm privileged to be with these guys today. But going back to how I actually got to the States, born and raised in a town called County, or in a county called County Cork. I grew up on a family farm. My dad was a farmer all his life. The farm was actually passed down to him from his grandfather and his great-grandfather. So in Ireland, when you own assets the thing is to keep onto those assets. It's a written rule that you do not sell your asset, you do not sell your farm, because it's part of the pride and heritage. And you know, my townland is actually it's called after my surname, which is Coughlin. So it's my townland is Ballycoughlin. So it's real deep tradition. But you know, we had a lot of brothers and sisters, so I looked at the industry and I was like, well, I'd love to go to America and see what exactly there is out there for me. So I moved to the States and I got a job working in corporate America. And then, as we all know, you know, trends change fast.
Yes.
And the consumer mind and the information that is now readily available to anyone making a purchase decision is so freely available that people are now becoming super smart, super intelligent, and they're willing to spend that extra bit of time finding out more about a product and going online and handing over their credit card and making that connection with these brand new online e-commerce stores, which are just thriving right now. And you know, current stats estimate that by 2020 we're going to have 4 trillion in e-commerce sales globally. So
that's a lot of money, boy.
You know, it's funny you talk about the data that's so readily available to us today. Well, my background is in direct response marketing. I did film, I did commercial production for Toyota, Mitsubishi, Hyundai, all their cars. If anybody ever bought a car, an import car in the 80s or 90s, it was us that brought it to their vision through print, billboards, TV ads, whatever. We used to, actually, a very good friend of mine, just saw her not too long ago, Maria Soreo. We used to get together and do focus groups where we would bring these cars into this warehouse and we'd bring 20, 30 people in there and we'd be talking to them about the different things and what they like, and we'd be writing. That's how we gathered data as to who would buy our cars and what kind of ad to put together for them. And it's insane to think today it is literally readily available for anybody who really wants to look for it.
Exactly.
And you've mastered that ability. So,
yeah.
One thing before we get too deep away from this subject, you talked about innovation and it changes so fast and things are changing so fast. You actually got to learn a lot about innovation from the master of innovation himself, Steve Jobs. That's where you came from. Is that right?
Yeah. So when I came to the States, I was lucky enough to get a job in Apple, in their headquarters. And I found out a lot about innovation, a lot about marketing. You know, I always maintain these definitions in my head. So marketing is the identification and satisfaction of consumer needs and wants profitably. So you learn marketing, you learn branding, and Apple is the model company when it comes to creating a product that people don't know they need, but they want it. So when you can deliver a product so unique, you're gonna get that customer attraction. So I learned a lot there, and now I've applied everything I learned into a online business. So yeah, it's been
I think that's really what made Steve Jobs so unique as a CEO, was that he truly was. He was a visionary. He didn't say, what does the market want, and then let's go ahead and make it. He'd say, let's create something that when the market sees this, boy, they're going to want it so badly, they're going to line up to get it.
Exactly.
And to be able to have that kind of a mindset and to be able to work in that kind of an environment, I think for Damien could do nothing but, you know, when you're working in that energy, I mean, it's going to pay off in spades. What I think is interesting is at some point, Damien, you made a decision that as much as you enjoyed being in that energy and enjoyed being in that environment, that there was a shift that needed to occur, and all of a sudden August rolls around of last year, and kind of like, why don't you tell us like what was going on in your head and what happened then?
Yeah, so you know, I gained so much experience, and one of my goals as a young child was actually to own my own business. So taking what my father had taught me as an entrepreneur growing up on the farm, I wanted to take an experience, because we only get one chance in this life. So I took that shot and decided, hey guys, let's go make it happen, see what happens. So it's about risk taking, guys, and going after what you want. Yeah.
Great. Hey, we got coming up on the next side. We're going to take a little break here. We've got to pay our bills, but one of the things we want to do is remind you that we have a very cool contest coming up, and we want you to get involved with it. And Damien's going to share some information on that next, coming up right after the break.
Now back to Ecom Power Hour. Here are your hosts, Jeff Fagan and Jason Nast.
Hey, all right. I teased you earlier before the break about a very cool contest we got coming up. And one thing you don't know about Damien, he's getting really shy today for some reason. He is actually he's instructing us. He's talking to us. He's telling us his kind of inside secrets today. But he's actually an instructor. He's an instructor for a great group of people right here in the Valley, in Scottsdale. And there's a very cool contest coming up, or it's actually in play right now. But anybody can join in. And it's free to join, right? Okay,
Yes.
It's absolutely free. So I'm going to go ahead and just plug your site here. Your site is shopifycontest.com.
That's correct.
Shopifycontest.com, and you'll get that information from our website as well. But in the Shopify contest, right now we just threw that out there. Nobody has a clue what Shopify is. So before we talk about the contest details, talk about Shopify. Tell everybody in a summary, what is Shopify and how does it work? And why is it relevant?
Yeah, exactly. So Shopify is an e-commerce platform. They're actually listed on the New York Stock Exchange, and right now, their stock price is just going through the roof. Because
Do you know where they're based out of?
they're based out of Canada, right?
Yeah, do you know where in Canada?
Ottawa.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, high five, Ottawa. Yeah, there we go. Home
It doesn't
sweet
mean
home.
anything to us. It's his whole home.
Okay.
No, I think it's amazing. Tech Academics, Scottsdale, and Shopify, Ottawa.
yeah.
And my roots.
Home for
Hey,
you.
Yeah.
And the company that owns my hosting is next door, GoDaddy.
There you go. Yeah, that's it. Right. That's right.
Yeah, it's a good place to be right now. Yep.
Exactly. So guys, Shopify e-commerce platform. And the reason why I love Shopify is because Shopify allows any person without website experience, without coding experience, without anything e-commerce related or anything to do with online. It allows you to simply create a store within 2 or 3 hours and be up and running selling your products, because what it allows you to do is like a drag and drop system. So if anyone's familiar with WordPress, it's similar to WordPress. It allows you super creative customization, and it's a great platform.
And before we go any further, I think it would be good for a lot of our listeners who don't know Damien to really get to understand that really it wasn't even that long ago you were really kind of a complete novice at this. And why don't you kind of share like your journey from the last 6 months so everybody kind of gets a feel for who are we listening to here and what kind of results has he produced? Because I think people will really perk up once they hear your story.
Yeah, so as I said, it was kind of like when I looked at the e-commerce business, I did not expect it to be that easy to set up from a new point of view, right? So when I set up Shopify, I had my store up and running within it was 8 hours, and then I had my first product onto the Shopify store another hour. So yeah, guys, started off 6 months ago, and today we've generated $500,000 in revenue. So this morning we're at about $512,000 in sales. So
that's over $500,000 in sales in your first 6 months as a rookie, as a novice.
Let's be clear. So I kind of maybe spoiled this because I said you came from Apple. You weren't a coder at Apple. You weren't designing stuff. So you literally started with no experience in the e-com world, or very little, and then through Shopify, which is what I love about Shopify as well, is that it's just so simple. Within a couple of hours, great tutorials online. You could set up your own complete e-commerce site, selling your own products.
But here's the thing, Damien's results are not typical.
No.
What made your results? What did you do? What made you so different that allowed you to produce? I mean, these kinds of results. And let's face it, Damien, you know as well as I do, you're only going to get better every single day you work at this.
Yeah. So I guess what made me grow so fast was my ability to understand that the number one thing you need in all aspects in life is the willingness to win, and the mindset that you need to be able to achieve anything in life. You could be a doctor, you could be a teacher. You can apply, whatever profession you're in right now, you can apply the same techniques that you have used to get you through your daily life in an e-commerce way. You just need to be able to focus, a mindset, and a mentorship. I followed some great mentors here in Scottsdale, which has allowed me to grow fast. And That's probably two of the key components. Yeah.
And you work pretty closely with Lawrence Ponte. He's the one who kind of got you started, right?
Yeah. So again, the mindset shift that I made was I needed to get in touch with other people in order to figure out, how to grow, build, and scale my business at a level that I wanted to get to. So.
Well, I think part of the story that you didn't even really share that I would like to share, because I think when you see people that really achieve amazing success where, they're outliers. In the book Outliers, you see, what's normal distribution curve, and then, the people that are way outside, like Damien. How many people 6 months into Shopify are producing over $500,000 in sales?
Well, I'm going to pause you there. I'm going to say something. This is very controversial. But literally, I know more people that can do it in Shopify. I've met more people that are hitting $100,000 a month kind of stuff.
Yes.
In the past 3 months, more and more and more of those people are appearing in my life. I think that, going out on a limb, Damien, you correct me, it's not easy, but it's not hard either. It just takes a driving passion, and one of the things that you're passionate about is systems.
Yeah.
And if you have the right mentorship, and you have the right systems in place, and you're passionate. And by the way, Damien is seriously passionate. Last night, I'm watching his snaps and his Instagrams at midnight, and he's like, okay, I just finished doing my product research because that was Monday, but now it's Tuesday. I'm getting ready to start doing and I'm like, I'm living it because I'm also watching my Facebook ads. There takes a passion that drives you. You've got to be driven. It's not hard. It's not easy, but it's not hard.
But I would say this, that if you were to look at all the people who signed up with Shopify, all the people, and then you said 6 months after you've signed up with Shopify, what are your total sales? Over $500,000 is an outlier. Okay.
But I'm going to also say that the difference between all those other people is the passion rate.
Well, I would say it's more than that. Here's the other thing I would say. Damien actually made it a point to make things happen by going to Lawrence and saying, I want to not only learn from you, I want to live with you.
That's right.
I want to be under the same roof as you so that when I wake up in the morning and throughout the day, I'm in that energy all day long. Now, how many people are willing to move to a whole new city, set up shop in a house where they've intentionally said, I'm going to live under the roof, so I'm in this energy all day long? Right. That is passion taken to the degree, because that's someone who's willing to do whatever it takes. If Lawrence had been in Timbuktu, and that's what it took.
Had been in Timbuktu.
Yeah, it didn't matter. Scottsdale just happened to be where he needed to be.
It's where everything needs to be. Really.
Yeah. But I mean that's why I feel blessed that here in Phoenix we've attracted so many of these minded people that don't just let it happen; they make it happen, right? Well, and I think that's an important part of the story. That Damien's results are not typical. So the average person listening, if they think they're going to earn $500,000 in their first 6 months, it's possible, because Damien's here to prove it. But I mean, unless they're prepared to make the kind of commitment that Damien did, where basically he moved under a roof with a bunch of other guys all committed to doing the same thing, you're probably not going to get those kinds of results that quickly. Would you agree, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, someone who's that passionate. I mean, maybe what we got to do is we got AJ sitting here, right? We got to create a thing where people who want to really become involved and be under the same roof. You create another place. AJ gets 2 other people renting 2 rooms in this place, and then all of a sudden, AJ's got his own little marketer's mansion of his own, because you got to be around these people in this energy all the time till you're eating it, sleeping it, breathing it, dreaming it. I mean, you got to be in that energy persistently, don't you think?
So we got the marketer's mansion. That's Damien and Lawrence, and then you've got the millennial mansion. We get AJ going. We got the boomer mansion.
There you go. That's right. Because I do think it takes that kind of an energy to be like. Don't you think?
It's Napoleon Hill. He's creating a mastermind. He's creating the energy of a mastermind where there's power and influence every single minute, every single day, and I think that's the way your house works, because if you're stuck, everybody pours their resources into helping you get unstuck, and unselfishly. They don't profit from you getting unstuck. You do what you do, and you help them get unstuck, and you support each other, and you grow each other, and that's how a proper mastermind works. And I think that's what you have here. I think you have some very, very again, passion-driven people.
Yes. Oh, it's a mastermind for certain.
And when you get people who are in that energy,
Yes.
you attract more people in that energy.
You do.
And again, the difference.
And and those are my most favorite people in the world.
They are.
I mean, really. I mean, the
that's
ones
why
that really.
we're all here right now.
Well, that's
we're all
it.
passionate
So
about this
that's
stuff.
why I think, now that people understand the amount of passion and energy and commitment that Damien has put into his business and mastering his craft. Damien isn't just wanting to be okay at this.
No.
Damien wants to master it. And he's willing to put in the time, the commitment, the energy, the frustrations, the good, the bad, the drama, all the crap that goes along with it, because he can do it, and he's doing it. And that's why I think, as we talk more about this 90-day challenge, and that's just like an introduction to what the opportunities are. When, Damien, now at this point, I think as you say more about it, for our listeners, they'll have a much greater appreciation of who's kind of, sharing this information.
I agree. Okay. Well, we didn't let you talk much. We're actually going to get some more information from you on the next break. We're going to wrap this up. And what we're going to be talking about now, we have the Shopify contest coming up, and at shopifycontest.com, we're going to start talking about how to build your Shopify and what are the key elements, how you do that. And do you need your own product, or is there somebody else that will provide all the products and shipping and everything for you? Stay tuned for that, because we're going to tell you where to find all that good stuff.
Come right back.
Now back to Ecom Power Hour. Here are your hosts, Jeff Fagan and Jason Nast.
Here we are. This is what, the third segment? Is it third segment already? Wow.
It's crazy.
It is crazy how quickly the segments go by. And you know what? We've had this most amazing discussion. I'm always so inspired anytime I get a passionate, successful entrepreneur that's willing to share their advice and willing to share their knowledge. I mean, you know what? There's two ways to get experience: your own experience and through the experience of others. And I think one of the fastest ways to get on the fast track is to identify those people that have already gone through the process, they've already made the mistakes, and now they're on the fast track. And if you can learn from them, my goodness, wouldn't that be the best way to learn always?
I think it is the best way. I think that, and Damien's going to talk about this, surrounding yourself in the energy we talked about earlier, surrounding yourself in the energy and the right kind of mentor can be powerful, like just propel you to success versus just getting there. Tell us a little bit about your situation and your mentor and how you got started, stuff like that. Give a little background. We have some pretty good accolades for him actually right now, right?
So that's a great point you bring up about mentorship, and it's definitely the number one piece of advice I would give to anyone starting off. So I collaborated to Lawrence, as we mentioned earlier. I moved to Phoenix to be around him and to learn from him. And he actually right now is doing some traveling and promoting the knowledge of e-commerce in Cambodia.
Living the laptop lifestyle.
Living the laptop lifestyle.
You bet.
He actually, and I want to give him a shout out right now, he actually got featured on Inc. magazine yesterday.
And that is phenomenal.
An incredible article.
Yep.
And the basic story of that is Lawrence wasn't always the greatest teacher in the world, maybe not always the best influence in the world for some people. He actually was you want to talk about it?
Yeah,
I don't want to miss talked about the story, but it's powerful.
We all go through stages of our life where we may not do the right thing. Right. So he was in a situation at a time of his life, but he turned it around, and he dramatically changed his life for the better, and the people around him and his family. And he's an inspiration to anyone that has gone through struggles right now, or is doing some things that they reflect back on and say maybe that was not the right choice to make at the time.
Right. Yes. And now, I mean, look at the guy, like I said, where he's in Cambodia, and I don't know where else he's going to go in Southeast Asia before he comes back here, but he truly does live the laptop lifestyle, and I can say beyond any shadow of a doubt, he's been a positive influence on us.
Sure, absolutely,
no question. And for Damien, I'm sure you multiply that maybe 100 times over. But the question at this point is, has the student passed the master?
I mean, you know,
Oh, look at that. Girl.
hey, you know, and that's what's great about having a friend like Lawrence. You know, we're always challenging each other. We're always passing golden nuggets. We're always saying, hey, this may work in your niche, or this may work in your niche. So, you know, it's good for competition, you know, and we're only playing, you know, we're only saying, hey, I'm going to hit numbers this month, or I'm going to hit numbers this month. So it's great.
Don't you love playing in the $500,000 mark?
Yeah,
it's
no,
really kind of cool.
And really, you know what? I would say this, and I don't know if Damien will agree with me or not, but I think that within 18 to 24 months, $500,000 will be a monthly number for him. I think, you know, if you scale this thing up properly and you've got a lot of seasoned pixels to work with, and you know the market, and you know how to train people the right way, because really, when you think about it, you know, even something like what we do with internet marketing, if you break it down into its smallest components, you can actually have, you know, you have 5 people and all you're going to do is this all day long, and people are just going to, and you break it down into a systemized way. You know, Michael Gerber, who wrote E-Myth, said that you build a business based on systems, not based on people. Right. And what you want to do is you want to have people of the least education possible doing the work. So, like, for example, with the McDonald's, you can get high school kids with have no social skills or basic skills whatsoever, and in no time at all, you can have them doing the work because you've broken down the job into such easy, trainable systems. And even like doing research for products, for example. If there's a system and you have 4 people, and all they're doing all day long is doing the research for you because you've taught them the system. Mm-hmm. They don't know the entire picture. They only know that one little piece, and they're really good at it. And now you break up every single aspect of the business, and now you're scaling this thing up on a massive, massive scale because you don't need experts. You just need people that can follow your system. This is how we do our research. If the numbers are this, we do this. If the numbers are not this, we do that. Mm-hmm. Right? And everybody just follows the system. And boy, can you scale up. I mean, internet marketing, how big can you scale it up?
Yeah.
As big as it goes. So you're talking a lot about product research and stuff like that. Can you give us a little hint? What are some of the things you can do to research good product? Where would you go to find good product?
Well, there's so many different places you can go. One of the best way to go is just on these wholesaling sites, you know, like AliExpress. And there's a number of other suppliers within the United States. And the fun thing about it is you actually don't need to own the product itself. You just need to be able to have someone, and that's why Jeff just spoke about processes and systems. You know, if I'm not an expert in creating a product, I'm going to outsource that to a factory in, you know, New York City, or I'm going to outsource it to something else. Or if I'm not an expert in SEO, I'm going to outsource that. So yeah, so majority of my products are owned by other people, and I'm getting the product at cost. And then I'm selling for retail, and I'm making that profit on each transaction.
Does it cost a lot of money to be able to get a license to work with the wholesalers?
No.
So I'm brand new. I know nothing. How do I even find out who these wholesalers are, and how much does it cost for me to do business with them?
Okay. Yeah, so Jason, myself, we have a database of suppliers. You can also go to trade shows. Like recently I invested some money in going to Las Vegas at the ASD Market Week, where I wanted to connect and find unique products to sell. So that's another opportunity for you guys.
And if someone signs up for the challenge at your site, will they get access to all these wholesalers?
Yeah, so on www.shopifycontests.com, anyone who signs up to the Shopify platform and mentorship, basically, we put you guys on a fast track to success. Basically.
Which means, among other things, that then now suddenly have access to all these wholesalers.
And that's going to give you a competitive advantage. It's going to allow you to spend more money on ads and on other things like marketing, branding, because you're getting those unique suppliers, which is going to take that pressure off you and say, okay, guy, you're my supply chain expert, and I'm the marketer.
And how many different kinds of products and services can you be offering?
Hundreds. That's what's so unique about e-commerce, is that you just need an idea.
And I think your mantra is kind of like unique sells. It's like there's a lot of people that sell the same old thing. You see a lot of the same old thing all the time, but you go to the top 100, see what everybody else is selling, but yours is a little different. You go to more of the niche. You say, look, find something that's unique, that's not out there yet, that's not being publicized, and then really kind of drive that to your right traffic. And the right traffic, that is going to be something we're going to talk about in the next break, is through Facebook ads. Facebook is where you pretty much drive most of your sales. Is that right?
Yeah. So the key to being successful is having a product to a customer match. So the customer is what we're going to talk about next. That's all about the Facebook ads. But the product is where I'm looking at unique products, right? I want a unique product that I haven't seen before and that is easily targetable. So for example, Mother's Day is coming up right now. So, you know, I'm running some jewelry to mothers, and it's turning out great because it's eliciting an emotional response, right? It's an impulse buy, right?
Right.
Excellent. Okay. And as we go on, we're going to be talking about Facebook ads, and we'll use Mother's Day as a great example of that, as how we can kind of target people through Facebook and not put crap on their feed, but actually put real good stuff that they're going to be interested in, and they're going to want to click on it, learn more, and ultimately our goal is to get them to shop.
Exactly.
And what's really cool is that anybody can learn how to do this. Isn't that right?
And
Yes.
it's free to everybody to access.
Exactly.
And the other thing we'll talk about, 90 free training videos you're going to get as well. So we'll talk about all that next break. Thanks for sticking with us. Don't go anywhere.
Now back to Ecom Power Hour. Here are your hosts, Jeff Fagan and Jason Nast.
So we are back for the fourth and final segment, although this whole time goes by so quickly. I don't know about you guys. I find that anytime that we have an opportunity to speak with highly successful people, stimulating conversation, the time goes by really, really quickly, especially for those of us. And I think almost anybody listening to Ecom Power Hour, obviously they have an interest in making some serious coin online. Yes. And I think, you know, there's a question that kind of permeates all of us. You know, is it real? Is it real? Or are these people like Damien, like, you know, those, you know, 1 in a billion that got lucky and figured it out? But for the average person, it's kind of like they're going to blow their money on a whole bunch of training programs and never make any money from it. And I think that entirely could be possible. What I think would really be cool is for Damien, because Damien's been he's grown through that learning curve at a tremendous rate. And I think Damien will be the first to kind of share with everybody that there is a learning curve that they got to go through, and it's going to take a certain amount of time for them to go through it, and what the likelihood is of success if they're willing to persist.
Mm-hmm. As with anything in life, guys, you know, if you are not like, okay, let's take a real life example. When you learned to cycle a bike, how long did it take you to do that? When you learned how to drive a car, how long did it take you to do that? When you learned, you know, all different aspects in life, it takes a certain amount of time to achieve something. So from an e-commerce point of view, number one is you've got to get your mindset right. So the first 30 days is going to be about experimentation. It's about, you know, looking at, you know, what works best. It's about calling up your friend and saying, hey, you know, how can I improve my site here? So there is a learning curve, guys, and I'm going to tell you right now, because I'd be doing an injustice to you if I told you it's just easy work. It's not. How committed are you to making this work? That's what I challenge you guys with, number one. And then the number two is basically taking it on a journey and making it fun, becoming an expert, treating it like it's your own business. Empower yourself. It's about you saying, I want to create my own business. I want to show people that this is easy. So guys, you know, take it in chunks, right? Do not like look out into the open and say, I'm going to make $1 million. I want you guys to hit your 100 daily target, 1,000 daily target, and 10,000 daily target.
That's exactly.
And I can guarantee you guys,
10,000 daily target. Oh man, I mean that's going to be party time, boy. I'll tell you, man. That's amazing. But when you're just out of curiosity though, but when you get into 10,000 in daily sales, how much are you probably spending on your ad side?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, so the typical, so there's a metric that I like to use called ROAS, ROAS, return on ad spend. Now, The key with return on ad spend is you want it to be within the ratio of 1 to 3 or 1 to 4. So for every dollar I spent on advertising, I want about a $3 or a $4 return, because then I know my magic metric. My magic metric is the amount I'm willing to spend on a purchase conversion. So when you know your numbers, guys, it becomes very important. It's just like a household budget. It's just like paying for your finances. You got to sit down. You got to look at your numbers.
Mm-hmm. And it's never been more important to know your numbers. I've actually talked to several people, and this is just an informal focus group survey kind of thing. But when I ask somebody, what's your average sale? What's your profit? What do you got? And they don't know those answers. Their numbers are pretty small.
Yeah.
But when I say and you're saying you've got a $10,000 day. Oh yeah, we're striving for a $10,000 day because we know that our $10,000 day equates to an ad spend of X, which is going to be 3 times and plus our product.
And just to mention as well, I'm thinking long term as well. So that $10,000 is an accumulation of emails that I can remarket on later.
Yes,
so it's about that brand, guys. It's about spending money to make money.
Yes.
Yeah, we did a $200 day just the other day, and it was great because it was a combination effort. It was online Facebook ads and emails that were sent, and the emails actually are what put us up over the $200 day.
That's awesome.
And it was no work. It was just an email that went out.
So that tells me straight away that a $1,000 day is within your reach, because you've already learned the systems that need to be in place in order to build, grow, and scale.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to talk about Facebook a little bit. So I'm going to kind of play on the conspiracy theory people out there for a little bit, give them some food for their thoughts. The reality of it is that Facebook knows everything about you. It knows that we are all sitting in Money Radio right now. It knows that because it's watching our locations. We're checking in. It knows when we go to Buffalo Wild Wings. We knows we like Buffalo Wild Wings. All of a sudden, it's tracking that data. So if I stop at, like me, I'm a pizza guy. I love pizza, and I'm pretty much anywhere in any city, state, country, I'm going to go to a pizza place. Facebook knows that, and I get ads for pizza no matter where I'm at. And people get a little afraid of that. But the reality of it is when you embrace it, when you understand it, you can leverage that.
Yep.
And that's how you're making your money right now. Would you say that's the number one key to making your money? You have product as one big element, but if you have the greatest product in the world and you don't know how to get it in front of the right people, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah. So I'm willing to invest in learning skills that can be applied to multiple different avenues, and one of those skills is learning Facebook ads. And Facebook ads basically, as you said, allows you to target various peoples, just like back in the old days when companies used to advertise on the newspaper, right? They're advertising based on where the newspaper is selling, etc. Right? Now we have moved and we've transitioned to an online platform. So when you learn Facebook ads, not only can you apply it to your e-commerce business and target people in the United States who love pizza and that are married to a Texas lady, so there's all different ways to target. And the example I gave earlier about the Mother's Day, I can go on a Facebook right now and I can target 22 to 55-year-old women living in Phoenix, Arizona, that are moms and that have kids between the ages of 1 month to 30 months, and I'm able to target various products to them, and it is definitely the way forward, and it's something that I encourage everyone to learn, because it can be applied to, maybe you want to take the Facebook skill and apply to doing some social media work for some, or going down to your local Starbucks and saying, or not Starbucks, but a local shop, and saying, hey, I want to build your business. Do you want me to become your agent? So
right. Yeah. No, agency. I think agency is huge.
So I've got to wrap up things here because, believe it or not, we're almost done. But I have some really exciting things to talk about. So we kind of delved into Facebook a little bit here, and the broad reach that Facebook is. But next show, we want you guys to keep tuning in, because next show we're actually going to have a special guest in, a friend of yours, Brandon Stewart, who actually works with Facebook, and he is an ads account rep, and he literally can help everything kind of clear up that fog of Facebook information. So that's going to be coming up on our next show. We're really excited about that. And also, teasing a little bit, we got Brian Dixon's going to be on our show as well, and he is a traffic master. Damien was talking about earlier. This guy can master traffic using Facebook and other resources to drive traffic, whether it's to your business, if you're a dentist, a doctor, a lawyer, a chiropractor, or if you're selling products online. You want to know how to drive traffic. It's like the old days say, location, location, location. Well, Facebook is your location, and you've got to get your ads in front of the right eyes.
Awesome show, boy. Million thanks to Damien.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for inviting me. Thank you guys. You've got a wealth of experience here.
Real quick, the irishmarketer.com.
TheIrishMarketer.com.
If you'd like to join the Shopify contest, make sure to check it out, shopifycontest.com. Again, the Irish Marketer, you'll get in touch with Damien. He's an amazing guy and a heart of gold. Truly.
Absolutely. Thanks for hanging with us, guys.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Absolutely.